Okay, here's the deal. It's 9 p.m. Friday night. I got out of work about 8. Stopped off at the parts store today and picked me up a few little attachments to attach all these hydraulic lines and everything with. Here is the car as she sits. By my exact calculations, I got enough pieces and parts to put her all together. My goal is to see how close I can get to, if not actually doing it, piecing all this together and driving it out of the garage this weekend. Let's get at it. Okay, here's what I did. As I explained earlier, I was using the old throwout bearing as a washer. You can see it sitting right here. And it was a little bit too big. It was just big enough where if I'd have put it on, this front face of the throwout bearing would have been riding on the clutch fingers, which would have worn it out. This is designed to turn about a gazillion times, but it only has to when you engage the clutch. When you take your foot off the clutch, this backs away from the clutch and it just sits there, so it's not wearing all the time. If this was on that all the time, even if it wasn't a lot of pressure, it'd be spinning all the time and just wear out quicker. So I trimmed off this much of the back of that other throwout bearing that I'm using as a spacer, and then slipped this back on here, pulled my measurements across here, and by my exact calculations and eyeballing and everything, I have determined it's right. So I am about to put the transmission on the back of the motor. And the other thing I did was I put these rubber hoses over these lines. Actually, the instructions said this would probably be a good idea just to keep these lines from wearing against the side of the block there. So I went ahead and did that. So let's put her together. Okay, there she is. She's all nice and together, and isn't she a beauty? Now I wanted to show you one thing that I'm doing here. I was talking a while ago about how important it was to make sure that that face of that throwout bearing didn't touch there. So what I'm doing is actually just reaching my hand right over inside of here, and I can literally, once I get my hand in there, touch the bearing and turn it, which tells me that this thing does have clearance. In the instructions that came with this, it said 1 to 3/1000ths of an inch clearance. That's pretty darn close. So I don't know if you can see in there or not, but if you can see that it's so close. It looks like it's touching, but it's not. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. So we're ready to put this in the car. I'm going to tighten up them bolts one more time and then slip her in there.